Hey fellas, and in this video we are going to be talking all about how to sculpt a really good chest through doing a dynamic push-up, which is going to be a lot more beneficial for us as we move more in towards our 40s. So, reason being is that when we start to kind of look at training further on down the line in our older years, as we start to then put on more mass and more weight, then we're going to start to get more muscular imbalances, and we also start to get as well a lot of sore joints, okay, muscular imbalances, poor posture, etc. So what we want to be able to do is start to move into doing more dynamic based exercises that are going to be more beneficial to us. So it's going to help with the aesthetics of the chest, but it's also going to help with the functionality of the shoulders as well. Okay, team? So if you start to think about the anatomy of the chest first of all, so we start to then look at the distal attachments, which are here in terms of the chest. So we're going to go from the sternum and the clavicle, and it's going to come all the way across, goes into the top part of the humerus there. So from that position there, in terms of the chest, if we bring our arm up into that position, like we would do in a traditional bench press, bringing the arm back as far as we can and then pushing forwards, what is going to happen is yes, it's going to make the chest bigger, but it will also make the chest quite a lot tighter as well. Now, when we start to think about the functionality of the actual shoulder joints all through here, the shoulder joint is a ball and socket, okay? So it moves in all of these different positions, okay, like so. The tighter that the chest is, the more that we're going to start to impact the range of motion of that joint, okay, in a negative capacity. So what starts to happen is we get a lot more pressure in the likes of the rotator cuff muscles, which support and stabilize and help with the shoulder function. So if you don't have shoulder pain yet, then guess what? It's probably going to be coming down the line for you if you've just only focused on doing a lot of heavy bench pressing over the years. So we need to think a little bit smarter in terms of the way that we're going to be training our upper body and our chest, okay? So that's the kind of thing that we need to start thinking about, is rather than just doing one-dimensional heavy bench pressing, is start to make it a lot more dynamic, okay? So this is what we can do, is to start using a dynamic push-up to be able to improve the functionality of the chest, but also improve the aesthetics as well at the same time. So we're going to just jump down now and give you a quick demo of what we're going to look to do. So there's a couple of things you can do. You can use blocks, okay, to create more depth with your press up, okay, or you can just go without them to start off with and see where you get on. So depending on obviously your ability and your strength with regards to the upper body, you can bring these in or just use your hands or just go to knees. So I'll just give you a couple of demonstrations now of what we can do. So to start off with then, in terms of dynamic press-ups, get into your typical kind of push-up position. Feet, okay, you can put slightly wider. Okay, keep the torso nice and tight. Okay, so we're bracing throughout the midsection there. We're not letting the hips just drop down. Okay, the backside's not up in the air as well. So we're staying in that nice, stable position from there. Now from there, if we just drop into a couple of press-ups, from there, it's pushing up one, pushing up two. Then look to start changing the angles now. So what we can do is bring the arms inwards, like so. Okay, so this kind of brings more into internal rotation. Okay, from that position there. Okay, we can also go into external rotation, into that position there, like so. Okay, so what that now is doing is, because we're changing the angle, okay, it's going to be more beneficial to be able to bring the arms in and out, and gives us a lot more dynamic stability throughout the whole of the shoulder joint, as well as obviously working the chest at the same time. So as well as that, we can also change the position of one hand going forward. Okay, yeah, so left hand going forward, like so, and then from there, you can push up and down there. You can then bring that left hand coming in to be narrow, to be there. You can then go wide, to be there. It can then go out, that position there. It can go in, that position there. And then obviously, same on the right as well. So what you'll find is that by changing those positions, is you'll get a lot more out of that from both the functional side to it, but also through the shoulder joint as well. So it keeps the shoulder joint moving really well, which then has an impact as well on the likes of the scapula, the shoulder blade, because that's going to move quite nicely as you're moving into those different positions. So from a functional side of things, it's going to really help you a hell of a lot, right? Because we're going to be able to bring that arm into these different positions without having that typical kind of restriction from there. So the more that the hands are in, the hands are out, forwards, backwards, it's really going to kind of help with that. And as you can hear as well, it's quite hard work at the same time, right? So you will find that it does have a real good kind of impact as well. So not only does it help you really kind of help with the function, but aesthetically, it does do a good job. So if you want to make it a bit harder, then what we can do is bring in the likes of blocks, okay? Or you can use press-up handles as well, work just as well. And you can still do the same thing. So we'll bring it into play, like so, where we've got the blocks. This allows us now to get a lot more range and to sink that chest down and to come back up. So we're going to go all the way down and up. We're going to say move the hands out. Example there, to get down and up. Let's place one arm forward, one back, left arm forward, down and up. Let's change them over, there to there, like so. Let's put the hands in, like so, down and up, hands out, like so, down and up, like so. So there's plenty of ways that you can be able to play around with that, okay? So keep using the different hand positions in order to be able to get a lot more from the shoulder joint, okay, as well as helping with the back, as well as obviously getting a lot more from the chest as well at the same time. So you do that, say do 2 repetitions on each position, turning the hands out and hands in. You're gonna get a hell of a lot out of it, okay, yeah? So as you can hear me now, okay, kind of out of breath, is because it can get quite intense once you do quite a few repetitions, yeah? So it's a very good way of being able to really kind of develop the chest, but get a good workout from it as well at the same time. So that's my recommendation there. Now, what you can do as well is if you don't want to let go of lifting heavy, okay, because I will still do bench press as well, traditional bench press, but I'll do a lot more function as well, because what I want to do is make sure that the shoulder joint can move very well and I can stop getting pains in the shoulders from the rotator cuff. This will help out a hell of a lot because it starts to help you move the arm and the shoulder a hell of a lot better. So for me, what I tend to do is use this as a really good warm-up within training. So I'll spend a good 5 minutes doing press-ups, push-ups, in different hand positions, turning hands in, turning hands out, left arm forward, right arm forward, doing 2 to 3 repetitions in each one, and I'll go around twice, okay? And that gives me a real good warm-up then. So dynamically, the chest is really kind of good to go. And then I'll move into more then the heavier side of the session where I'll be lifting obviously just heavy dumbbells like so. So you can bring it in however you please. You might want to do heavy weights first and then towards the end, then do dynamic, okay, just to finish off, all right? So however it fits for you, then go for it. But the thing to think about is start bringing this into play, okay, to make sure that you are making the shoulders a lot more dynamic, okay, and getting a lot more out of the chest, okay? So that's a really important thing for you to be able to do. Now, if you're a beginner, this is a great place to start, okay? So if you've just started to kind of get into training now, then in this position here, what we can do, if you take these away, in terms of your press-ups, then from that position there, go to your knees, okay? So just use your knees and still just do the same thing again, whereby you only just do 1 repetition, for example, change the hand position, bring them quite narrow, hand position again, so wide, left arm forward, right arm forward, like so. And so that's a really good place to start, because then it means that you'll have a better functional kind of press, push strength, as opposed to just being rigid and stuck in that one dimension there. Okay then team, so try that there, give it a good go, okay, because it will work really well for you. If you have any problems, then obviously just drop in the comments below and obviously let me know. So as we're moving into our 40s team, okay, yeah, so start thinking about training a lot smarter, okay, because you're going to need to think about joint function, you need to think about your mobility, you need to get a lot more out of your body. So you stop getting the aches and pains, you start looking really good, okay, yeah, but you start performing well as well at the same time. If you want any more help and support, then I've written a full blueprint on training into your 40s, okay? So just go into the description, links in the description below, click onto that, and you'll be able to download that free blueprint for you there. Okay then team, so give that a go, hope it helps, and please drop a comment if you've got any feedback in terms of giving this a go. All right then team, see you on the next one.